so that the permanent town building committee can take some action before they come off the virtual shared Zoom.
Okay. Not sure I heard that, but that's okay.
Yeah, we just need to hijack the link. You guys have a separate
Oh.
link for your other meeting, right?
No.
No, we'll
Oh.
just hang on. We can't convene until 7, Tom, so we'll just hang on in the background while you guys do your stuff, and then you can peel
Okay.
off and we'll hold our meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Tom, can I ask a favor? Could you run the meeting tonight?
Sure.
I've had an exciting day. I just want to listen.
Okay. All right, thank you. So good evening. This is the January 8th, 2024 joint meeting, virtual joint meeting between the J.V. Fletcher Library Board of Trustees and the Permanent Town Building Committee. So on the agenda tonight is discussion on the library project. So first, first item, I want to just remind everybody that's on this meeting that this meeting is being recorded. So all comments either spoken or provided in the chat will become part of the public record. So I believe we want to start off with roll call.
Yep. Here we go. Claremont.
Here.
Dirk's here. Fleckner not here. Is that right, Ellen?
She's on the phone, I think.
Okay. Let's see if I see her. Do I see? Yep. Okay. So Fleckner.
Here.
Okay. Roach.
Here.
Secor.
Here.
Teal.
Here.
Cook.
Here.
Hazelton.
Here.
Karpinski.
Here.
Mahana.
Here.
Roberts.
Here.
Zegowitz.
Here.
Berlinski is not here tonight. Perkins.
Here.
Liedberg.
Here, and I also just wanted to point out that we have an attendee too to add.
Okay.
John.
Rainville here.
Yep, Monks.
Here.
And who's the attendee?
John Cunningham.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
That phone number, that's
Mary Ann.
Mary Ann. I'm sorry. Okay. So she shows up both. Right. Okay. So first order of business is the approval of minutes from the December 4th, 2023 joint meeting.
1 second, Tom, I'm sorry. I think I was supposed to say Goodwin as well, right?
Yes.
Here.
Okay, thank you. Okay, go ahead, Tom.
Okay, so in your packet, you have the minutes from the December 4th, 2023 joint meeting. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to review that. Does somebody want to make a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll move to approve them as submitted.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
All right, wait a second. Who did the second?
I did. Jean.
Okay, thank
Roberts.
you.
And will you ask someone to amend it to include Jeff Goodwin on all of the boilerplate minutes?
Yep, approved as amended. So here's the voting. Claremont.
Aye.
Dirks, aye. Fleckner.
Aye.
Roach.
Aye.
Secor.
Aye.
Teal.
Aye.
Cook.
Aye.
Hazelton.
Aye.
Karpinski.
Aye.
Mahana.
Aye.
Roberts.
Aye.
Zegowitz. Jim Zegowitz.
Whoops. Aye. Sorry.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Those are the only people that vote. Is that correct?
I believe you. Yes, I believe you. Yes, because Jeff's not on our committee, so he doesn't vote.
And
I don't vote.
Perkins as well.
I do not.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1200.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So next we have on item 3 is approval of warrants, invoices and change orders. So there's 3 included in the packet. That's the invoice for excuse me, CHA Consulting for 6,000. Invoice for Feingold Alexander for 95% completion of the schematic design for $301,454.95. And then to approve 42,900 geotechnical bore and adjusted budget with advance of $18,000.
Maybe I can provide just a little background here. I need to say that the warrant cover sheet will be redrafted for Tom's signature. It shows the entire contract amount, which is what the purchase order will be according to the town accountant, not what you're approving tonight. The geotechnical bore is an add-on to the budget, and the budget revision in your packet shows that additional figure. And tonight you're only being asked to approve the $18,000 deposit so that the work can be done. Hopefully by the end of January, we'll know which type of mechanical system will actually be possible in the new building. Maybe I'll have Alicia weigh in on that.
Yep, this boring is just a test to see if this, by the way, this is a consultant to the architect. It's just being added to the budget. And it's a test. They'll do one test to see what the ground conditions are like in the likely place where they'll drill more wells. And that will help inform and size the if we go geotechnical, how big it is, and therefore give us a better bracket around an informed thing about the size of the geothermal and therefore the system if we go that way, and therefore the price. Because at the end of the month, we're going to be looking to come back to you all to be able to say, here are the options on the mechanical systems, pros and cons, the costs, whatever. And so that's going to be an important piece to make your decision.
Okay. All right, I see we have a couple of questions. I have questions too, but maybe these guys will address my comments or questions. So we'll start with Chris.
Hi, good evening. I'm just wondering why we're spending $43,000 of taxpayer money to drill a hole in the ground to confirm that we're on ledge. And also, why are we considering a geo-source heat pump when that was ruled out long ago for the building across the street when we were talking about the building next to the town hall, and that air source heat pumps are competitive with geothermal heat pumps with much less installed cost?
I'm going to take those in reverse order. Since recent, there are now very enticing incentives to go with geothermal. Up until recently, there have not been yummy little incentives to go geothermal. So now it's actually on the table for consideration due to recent incentives, and which is why we want to be able to do the bore. If we end up going geothermal, that one test well will be able to be incorporated into the system. But the geotechnical engineer, we can tell him it's granite, but he, to be able to give us the best price, estimate on the size of the system, he's asked for a test bore.
Can you elaborate on what the incentives are now?
I can try to pull it up, but I'll give me a minute and I'll pull that up. I can try taking either Scott's or someone else's, but we're gonna review this at the end of the month where we have the best information, but I can tell you approximately what we're looking at, but you have to give me 1 minute to pull it up.
Okay.
Okay, all right, so maybe
But
while
we're
you're
not-
looking it up, yeah, we can take a couple other questions here. I also have a question on the whole contractual arrangement, but maybe might be what Buffy, you have a question, and then Scott?
Well, my question is regarding this number change from 301, et cetera, down from, I'm not sure why the paper says 2,491,000.
It's incorrect, Buffy. And
Okay, that's what you're gonna redo?
the purchase order, the open-ended multi-year purchase order will be for the full contract amount. And this was a mistake, and
Okay,
thought I had said the warrant will have to be recreated for Tom's
Right.
electronic signature. You're voting on the amount on the agenda.
okay, that's what I thought you meant, but I wanted to make sure I was on the right page. Okay, thank you.
Scott?
Yeah, this is, I guess, I was have also the same question that Chris had, but if you look at the library, there's no basement there because we know there's a ledge there. So assuming that the ledge is probably on the library too, I guess you can bore through that. Does it make sense to run a geothermal through that kind of rock? I mean, it's probably a whole lot of granite sitting there.
Yes, they can drill through rock for the geothermal.
Yeah, well, maybe Chris, you can elaborate a little bit more. We look, I guess my general question is, and I apologize because I missed the sustainability charrette, so I don't know if this was discussed in detail at that. And was this a recommendation by the Clean Energy Committee? Because we looked at that extensively for across the street for a brand new, much smaller building, and it was determined that it really was not cost effective to pursue
Okay.
geothermal for that building.
Okay, I found the thing. I'm going to share my screen quickly with you all. And again, this is preliminary, okay? But this gives us ballpark. I don't have participant sharing. Can someone give me magic powers?
Oh, yeah, I'm not the host.
I just did.
Oh, thank you. So can you see it? So here we are. NASSAVE is who we're working with, and they have 3 options to look at that they incentivize to look at. These are the 3 systems: variable refrigerant flow, air source heat pump, and one is geothermal. And so the big numbers down here, just to summarize it, the initial costs are, oops, let me do that. The initial cost is 3.5, 4.4, and 4.9. So there's a pretty big difference between the 3 of them. But the rebate on geothermal right now is almost $600,000. And that's from NASSAVE alone. So it really brings it back on the table as an option. These are again, preliminary numbers. So NASSAVE has incentivized this. There are other rebate isn't quite the correct word I'm thinking of, but for with the IRA, which is the Inflation Reduction Act, there are other little yummy monies that come back for geothermal as well. This is a very new incentive, the IRA, and no one's obviously made it through it because these introductions, and how that system works is, everybody's kind of figuring it out, but they too have very inviting incentives to do geothermal. No one knows if these will obviously stay in place. If an election should switch parties in November, no idea. Obviously, no one knows. But that would be sort of the icing on the cake. But again, we'll bring better numbers, sharper numbers at the end of the month. Any other questions?
Chris, and then Scott.
So I guess when you spend money to perform a test, there's some uncertainty that you're trying to resolve. And so for $43,000, what, irrespective of the incentives, which I appreciate you sharing that, what uncertainty are we trying to resolve with a geothermal system? Its depth from the surface, which dictates the temperature of the ground. And if it's rock or if it's dirt, it's the same temperature. The question is, if it's rock near the surface, you have to put less casing in. If it's dirt above the rock, you have to put more casing in, and you're talking about a 5% difference, roughly, in small order of magnitude and cost of install. So I guess I'm just still struggling. It's great that geothermal is considered because there's these attractive incentives, but I don't understand what the uncertainty is that we're going to spend $43,000 of taxpayer money to confirm we have rock, when if you have rock at 0 feet or rock at 100 feet, it's a very small delta in install cost.
I think it's also about how, again, because I agree that it could have installation cost probably might not change that much, but I think it's how deep it actually is, because obviously it will, I think it will behave differently in rock versus soil. And I think that's what they need to know. And it could also be that where they're testing might not be the same as, they're going to try and test it where they think the wells will go, but it will also tell us how many wells and things like they're going to up to 500 feet. They expect to learn additional information. If you all say you don't want to spend the $42,000 and just tell them to assume it's all granite, we can do that. But he's going to have a big caveat on it saying that this, actual conditions may vary, which they may.
Okay, so if they could tell us if it's dirt within 0 feet of the surface or rock within 0 feet of the surface, this is the delta in performance, then that could substantiate spending $43,000 to confirm. But without a very good problem statement or an explanation of what the uncertainty is, I can't vote to approve this. But I appreciate all the info.
Okay.
Scott?
Yeah, I mean, the good news is the IRA is not a executive order. It's actually a law of the land. So changing precedents, it's have to change Congress first to get it overturned, then the president would sign that. So IRA is probably is relatively safe as much as anything else is these days. I guess my question was really though about how proven is the geothermal technology? Because my worry, we know what 10 years ago we took a flyer on a new wonderful technology for the senior center on HVAC and got burned badly. We're going to have these really cool incentives on geothermal to make people take risks and explore something that is not really proven, or is this something we can really count on as low risk?
Geothermal is a proven system. It's not cutting edge technology. And I think the idea is that, but it's also something that will have an awful lot of, will have durability to it. While you may have to change, update and maintenance and do things to the equipment inside the geothermal wells outside, there'll still be holes drilled in the ground. So it's not a new technology.
Okay, Jean?
My comment is not about geothermal, but about the other invoice that we're discussing, which is the Feingold Alexander invoice for $301,000. Given that this is their first billing of this portion of the project, I'm surprised they're billing 95%, and we haven't seen any drawings for reviewing. I think part of the process is for the committee to review the documents and to see a cost estimate. And if there's any value engineering that has to happen, that would happen after the estimate comes in. So 95% seems pretty high for where we are in the phase to pay.
The SD drawings are completed. The cost estimate reconciliation will be this Friday. So I don't know how we can share drawings with you. We can post them somewhere. I don't know where. Maybe Ellen can help me figure out where we should post those, the drawings and the specifications for folks to review. And the idea is that we're going to come back to you at the end of the month on the 29th with an SD set that's been reviewed, that's on budget, and with the reconciled estimate.
Well, I'm uncomfortable approving 95% at this time with the rest of the work that needs to be done. I think it should be either 85 or 90% maximum.
If the
Alicia,
working-
well, Alicia, you're our OPM, so you tell us. I'm assuming that you support this invoice, that they've demonstrated that they've made that
Yeah,
kind of progress?
they're essentially not drafting or working this month because it's kind of in limbo. All they essentially have to do is reconcile the estimate and attend some meetings. They are not drafting or working. They're waiting for the SD set to have, have permission to proceed into DD at the end of the month. So their efforts for the most part they don't have an awful lot to do. I know it's important work with the estimate, but there's the whole team is, though, they're not galloping forward. They're waiting.
But the team should be reviewing the estimate and making comments to the estimate when the estimate comes back. They're not just sitting around twiddling their thumbs.
Yep, that's true. The estimate is an important part, but it's a minor. I mean, it's lesser than everybody in the office drafting. I exaggerate, but
Alicia,
it's whatever you recommend. If you are comfortable 85, we can ask them to resubmit that. And if there's a monetary amount that you all feel comfortable with, that's fine.
or we could have the full schematic drawings at the working group on the 24th. And then when this group meets again on the 29th, they could approve the invoice. And they would also know that they've seen all the schematic designs and have the reconciliation in hand as well. So that might be more of the process that Jean is looking for.
I would have expected them to submit partial invoices throughout the last few months, and maybe we would have seen a 25% and a 50% and a 75%. I would think it's more comfortable to approve them that way, and that's the way it's done in the business. So just paying them $301,000, and we haven't seen anything to look at, to review, to comment on. I mean, we are the Permanent Town Building Committee, and that is our job to make sure that the building is being designed the way the town wants it to be designed.
Are you comfortable with what Ellen suggested, that it be reviewed first before, and then would you be comfortable with the 95%?
Well, I think that Feingold's going to want some money to pay their consultants and to pay
Yeah.
their people.
Right.
So that's why I'm surprised they waited until they're to bill 95%. They could have billed 50% last month,
Oh, I
you know,
see.
or 25% 2 months ago. And so now they're putting us in a bad place where, and I
Gotcha.
don't want to see this. I don't want this to become how they do DD, CD bidding and everything. They should have a monthly invoice that is a little bit more each time, rather than waiting and doing so much at once.
So
Well,
you're thinking,
from a cash flow standpoint, I mean, that's up to them to decide how they want to invoice their client. I don't think we necessarily can dictate to them how they want to invoice us, but no, I agree too, that I was surprised to see that, all of a sudden we're getting one lump sum of 95%. We haven't seen anything. I mean, I'd be comfortable from a cash flow standpoint, and for them not having to wait another month, to get some payment, I'd be comfortable with approving a lesser amount.
Mhm.
85%, if my calculator correctly, would be 269, 722 and 85 cents. That's 85%. I do my math again just to check. If you're comfortable with that, I'll have them revise their invoice and resubmit for paperwork to be processed. But if you're comfortable with that, I can ask them to do that.
Well,
fine.
can we just put that on hold for a second here?
Sure.
All right, so Buffy's got her hand up. I mean, I'm sorry, Beth's got her hand up, so let's take Beth's question.
Well, I wanted to get back to the geothermal. So I would ask especially that we get, that we have the architect or the architect's consultant speak to why they believe that geothermal is cost competitive with the air source heat pumps at this point. A write-up from the architect appearing or the consultant appearing at a meeting. It wasn't at the, we talked about the options in general at the sustainability charrette, but we didn't talk about, this expense. And it would be, I understand what everyone is saying. As far as clean energy and the goals that we placed, the goals that we requested on the project were all electric and heat pumps, but not necessarily geothermal. So I think what we would like to know from what I'm hearing tonight is what are the reasons for this expense, and what are we going to find out? What are the results going to tell us? And I think we need more information before we say yes or no.
Again, it's only to size the information, but I will ask the architects to go back to their folks and just say, assume it's 100% granite you're drilling through. Base the system sized on that, because based on knowledge in town, that's what you're going to find. That's fine.
But I'm not sure that that's the only reason to do the bore. I don't know.
It's to test though, to confirm what's in the ground and how well it performs. They do some sort of.
But I would imagine the architect or the consultant knows enough about, they know enough to believe that this is possibly a cost competitive option, right?
Yeah.
It was worthy of the $43,000 or whatever it is. And so I don't think we have enough information to be able to, approve or disapprove without knowing why they believe it's cost competitive, because I think it is known by everybody that there's a lot of granite.
Okay. It is part of what the money includes is to drill the hole and to do a 48-hour conductivity test. But again, we can just tell them to assume they're in granite and make those assumptions on the conductivity test.
Okay, Jim?
Yeah, so I just want to follow along with Beth. I think those are good points, and I'm just to be clear for myself. It seems like we're going for a $40,000 extra to determine the capacity or the suitability of a system that, based on the numbers you've shown us, are $1.5 million more than the baseline of the least expensive option, so that we could possibly even get $500,000, maybe $1 million in incentives. It seems like we're still behind the. Again, I guess it would be good if we could actually get a real proposal, a real pitch on what these incentives were, because right now all I see is that we're still, even if we were to match the 500 that we're going to get back with another 500, we're still 500 in the hole. So it'd be good if we could get a real synopsis.
I think that's where the IRA comes in, and we will review that at the end of the month again.
And the other thing I wanted to ask is, does this, waiting at the end of the month, does this hold up any of the other design processes?
Nope, they're just the geothermal information that will be provided will be based on an assumption. Will be based on an assumption of 100% granite. That's all. There won't be a more factual, but you all know, granite, that it's, Graniteville, Westford, and that across the street there is granite, and that's fine.
Okay.
And Alicia, the spreadsheet that you put up, you were doing a comparison of the capital costs, right? Because of course with geothermal, we would need to look at the operating costs. Because that's where the benefits of geothermal come in, is that once you've got the thing installed, you have a much less expensive operating cost.
Yes.
So I don't know, so we would need to consider that, as well as, is it the cheapest to install?
Yep, we will present all that the engineers are going to be prepared to present that at the 29th meeting. So you have
right,
all
but that's why I don't want to take a vote not tonight and have it go down when we haven't really gotten the details.
Will Mass Save have more information on this on the 18th, Alicia?
I think the idea is that they're going to be able to fine tune the numbers that were discussed. That's why we're re-reviewing it with Mass Save. The further we go down the path, the better, the more refined the design will get, right? And the more, the more specific the number gets with less assumptions and guessing in there, I'll say.
Okay. All right, so it sounds like we're gonna table that item. We'll come back with some more information, and then just for clarification, from a contractual standpoint, this is an amendment, to Feingold Alexander. It's not so, yeah, so I have a couple issues. So that this doesn't go on the warrant. That's got to get approved by Kristen, I'm assuming, because we don't have fiscal authority to approve contracts.
Right. we
And
would recommend
second of
to
all,
her.
but maybe it's probably a moot point at this point anyway. As far as getting paid up front before they do any work, I've never seen that. I don't know how the justification is for that, to get paid 18,000 up front before they even start the work. So that's my comments, but it might be a moot point anyway if we're
Well,
not going to
that's-
move forward with it. Yeah, well, I didn't understand I didn't understand. Maybe in a private world, yes, that you can get paid up front for before you start the work, but I've never seen that on the municipal side.
Second that.
But anyway, they would be, as you said, this is a sub through Feingold Alexander. This is not a, Town of Westford's not going to be contracting directly with Water Energy.
Great.
All right, so
So basically, you're saying it needs to go on their invoice as a line item, not as a separate item on the.
well, the
warrant.
amendment has to get approved. Can't get
By-
approved by us.
By the town manager.
All we do is recommend. So like Tom Mahana is the chair of the Birmingham Town Building Committee, doesn't have fiscal authority to approve this amendment unless designated by, either the town manager. Correct, Scott? I mean, there's no special circumstances here, right?
Not that I know of. I think you're correct.
Does this go back? This doesn't have to go, would that go in? That would actually go in front of the select board too, wouldn't it? An amendment?
That amount of money would, yeah, anything over 10,000, yes.
All right, so now we've totally screwed this all up. So let's get back. So we're gonna table that. We're not gonna take any action on the geothermal at this time. We're gonna get some additional information. So now we just have to go back and decide what this group's comfortable with the Feingold Alexander invoice. Are we comfortable with approving a lesser amount? Or would we prefer to wait until after they've presented the schematic design? So I thought somebody threw out a number of maybe 85%.
And Jeannie did, I think, and then Alicia gave us the amount, and that making them wait till the next meeting for money just doesn't seem right. I'd make a motion that we pay them at 85%. Using that $269,722.85 figure.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion on the motion?
So that was Jean seconding it.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, so Buffy, do you want to do a roll call for Jim? You got it?
Tom, yeah,
Yep.
could I just say, can we add to that we would like to see some documents as we hand them $275,000?
Yeah. So yeah,
Not a bad idea, right?
Yeah, if Alicia, you could work with them and set up an FTP site or something so that we could. They must have it themselves. That we would at least be able to review the schematic design at completed to date. All right,
Can we ask also that going forward, we do receive interim billings
I can ask,
more regular?
I can request it.
I think waiting that long, it puts us all in a bad position that if we see something that is really unwanted, and not there's, I know the probability of that is very, very, very low, but if we see something that's problematic, we're all going to be looking at each other like, where do we go from here?
It's one thing if they want to bill us at 95%, but if we had seen some of the product of their work up until then, it wouldn't make such a difference.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen anything.
Well, other than what they presented at at our meeting in
Yeah.
December.
Right,
A PowerPoint is not $200,000.
that's right.
Could I
Okay.
just hear a confirmation of the number again for the purposes of the warrant?
If I wrote it down right, Alicia, it's
269,722.85.
Thank you.
All right, so we're having it amended, and Jim, what did you want me to add to the wording? To include?
To include a progress set of drawings
Okay,
for review.
Who would like a copy of that? Should I just post it to the whole permanent town building committee?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I'm sure it's going to have to be an FTP site or something because it's going to be an enormous file.
Right.
So,
And we need access to download, not just view. Sometimes these share file links have a view only. I think some of us may want to download it and take a look at it.
No problem.
Chris, did you have a question on the invoices?
Just to clarify, so the motion is to approve 85% payment for something we haven't seen. Is that what I'm understanding?
Correct. We've seen, we saw a summary in December of the what they completed to date as far as conceptual level drawings, but based on Alicia's recommendation that they've completed for the most part the schematic design and and that the invoice, the amount that we're recommending is justified. They're going to
Yeah.
provide us drawings that we'll be able to see actually what they have done.
If the architects like Gene and Jim are comfortable with that, then I'm fine, but that just seems sketch.
I'm posting it right now. It'll be a OneDrive thing. I hope you all can read it, but I will send out
Well,
the invite.
Can't you ask them to post it to, it's very common for architects to have a
I
real
understand, but
share
if there are
file.
concerns that the documents, that you haven't seen the documents, I'm happy to post them so people can verify that they're there. And then
yeah, well,
you guys can, then I will also ask the architects to post an FTP site. I want you guys to feel comfortable. You don't have to trust me. It's fine. I'm happy to post the documents.
It's not a trust thing. It's not, I mean, we all realize that they've done work. There's no question. It's just
it's business. It's just the
Alicia,
business way of doing things.
do you have access to those drawings already?
I do.
Oh,
The estimate is going to be reconciled on Friday.
yeah. Okay. So sure. Yeah, we should be able to get a hold of those drawings. No problem then, right? Great.
Yeah, and then if Alicia is comfortable with the 85%, then I'm fine with that too, but not having any data, it's just kind of hard to write a check.
That'll be fine. We'll get to work. It'll be fine. Okay.
all right. So we have a motion. We have a second. Any further discussion on the invoice at 85%?
Sounds like an auction.
You guys are killing me. All right. So do we want to take a roll call?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Buffy, can you take the roll call, please?
Okay, here we are voting on this. Claremont,
Aye.
Dirks, aye. Fleckner? Can we get Mary Ann?
Oh, before you continue,
Yeah,
just to make it easy, we're also including the $6,000 invoice for CHA.
Thank you.
So
okay,
yeah, if you could modify the
okay.
motion includes the $6,000 invoice for CHA also.
I'm
And
gonna start
declining
over
the
again then.
geothermal.
Tom, I'm gonna start over.
Sure.
Okay. We have $2 amounts that we are voting on, $6,000 for CHA and the amended amount of 85,000 to Feingold Alexander, which will include a progress set of report of drawings to review. So here we go with the voting.
It's not
Claremont,
85,000.
85%.
85%.
my apologies, 85%. Okay, are you ready? Dear Claremont,
Aye.
Dirks, aye. Fleckner? Are we able to get Mary Ann's vote?
Is it-
She's going in and out of mute and unmute, so I don't know if she's having
Oh, yeah, she is on.
problems with her audio. I asked her to unmute and it looked like she unmuted, but
Okay. I'll come back to her if she can get unmuted. Roach,
Aye.
Secor,
Aye.
Steele,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Hazelton,
Aye.
Karpinski,
Aye.
Mahana,
Aye.
Roberts,
Aye.
Zegowitz,
Aye.
and did we get Mary Ann again? Fleckner?
She's voting by phone, yes.
Okay, she's an aye, so it's 12-0-0.
Okay. All right. So moving on. So next item is the monthly Amplifund reports submitted for acceptance. So in your packet, you have the November 2023 report. Any Ellen, anything to, or Alicia, anything to discuss on that?
No, the reports are still very straightforward and soon they'll become more complex because we'll start to post our eligible costs for the grant reimbursement. But that won't probably be for another 2 months.
Okay, great.
Right,
Okay.
I have sent a link, an email with a link to Chris, because I don't, it's right, they have the distribution email list for the permanent town building committee and the trustees. I don't have those mailing lists, those email lists. So Ellen and or Christina can email the link out to everybody, and anybody who gets that link should be able to open it. And if it doesn't work for you, they can forward the email I sent.
Right.
Let me know, but that it should work.
Thank you, Alicia.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, so so this needs a vote to accept that report, the Amplifund report. Correct, Ellen?
Yes, sorry.
Okay. All right. Buffy, roll call.
I'll make a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. A motion. We have a second.
I'll second.
Second by Lynn. All right. Any further discussion? Okay. Roll call.
Yep. Claremont,
Aye.
Dirks, aye. Fleckner,
Aye.
Roach,
Aye.
Shore,
Aye.
Steele,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Hazelton,
Aye.
Karpinski,
Aye.
Mahana,
Aye.
Roberts. Jean,
Mute.
I see you saying aye.
Sorry, aye.
And Zegowitz,
Aye.
12-0-0.
Great, thank you. All right, so last item is upcoming meetings. So as we talked about earlier, so The end of this week, we're expecting the reconciled cost estimate on the schematic design. We have a meeting on the 18th with Mass Save. Who attends that meeting?
There was a group of folks who had attended some energy, the Mass Save meeting itself will be a couple of the energy folks who had, and the working group will attend and listen to that. That is not a public meeting. There will be a follow-up meeting that's missing on that, which is happening on the 23rd, which will be a public meeting to review sort of the results of the Mass Save meeting.
That's a Town of Westford meeting. Is what you're talking about.
That will be open to the public, to the folks of whoever wants to attend, I guess, to Town of Westford folks that want to attend on the 23rd, I believe.
Okay.
What time?
Ooh, good question. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. Let me look at my calendar.
Okay.
It's at 3 p.m.
There you go, 3 p.m.
Thank you.
That one will get posted.
Ellen's faster with the click than I am, 3 p.m.
Great.
And I
All right.
expect the same energy focused folks will attend.
Okay, and then the next day we have tentative for the library group, library working group meeting.
Yep, and the idea is the designers will present an on-budget SD drawing set. Drawing, approach, knowing that things are, be tweaked, but that's where the drawings are and they will be on budget.
Okay. And then this group is tentatively scheduled to reconvene on the 29th, which is.
Which then after the working group has been able
that's a Monday.
to
Okay.
review and ask questions and all sorts of things, we'll be able to, make a recommendation one way or the other to the joint committee.
Okay. All right, great. Okay. Anybody have any other business to discuss as a joint meeting? Okay, anybody will make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We're just adjourning the joint meeting. So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Okay. Any further discussion? Or none, roll call?
Was that Eugene or?
Yeah. There's Jean.
Okay. Okay, roll call to adjourn, Claremont,
Aye.
Dirks, aye, Fleckner,
Hi.
Roach,
Aye.
Secor,
Aye.
Steele,
Hi.
Cook,
Aye.
Aye.
Karpinski,
Aye.
Hannah,
Aye.
Roberts,
Aye.
Zegowitz,
Aye.
that's it, 12-0-0.
Great. Thank you.
The
Okay, so
trustees need to hang on before they reconvene so that the Permanent Town Building Committee can take their actions.